Hey y'all, it's Robert, and today at the Sweet Impact, we're making another Pokemon cake, and this time we're making Togepi. But before we get into making this cake, I want to say thank you to DraftKings, who's the sponsor of today's video. Alright, so I've been playing around with DraftKings Casino, and if you're into real money casino games, then this is definitely one worth checking out. They've got tons of games like slots, blackjack, roulette, and even live dealer games. So there's always something fun to play, and they're constantly adding new ones, including games you won't find anywhere else. But here's the cool part. If you're new to DraftKings, you can play just $5 and get 200 slot spins to play on a featured game. That's 200 spins. That's a lot of shots to hit something big and see what the game is all about. I mean, if you're already into this kind of stuff, why not grab those extra spins, right? Super easy, just download the DraftKings Casino app, sign up with the promo code SweetImpact, and you're in. Go check it out and have fun. And hey, DraftKings Casino, the crown is yours. Togepi has always been one of my favorite Pokemon, especially when they introduced him in the first season of the show, and Misty always carried him around and he was crying all the time. I just thought it was cute, so I figured why not make it into an actual cake. So for this actual cake, I'm using vanilla confetti cake, and I'm just going to torte all those layers and add simple syrup just because I don't want those to dry out when I have to carve this cake out. So for the base of this cake, I'm actually gluing a dome piece of styrofoam to the cake board. This is just going to make sure that the bottom of the cake will really be curved without it all falling apart if it was made out of actual cake. When stacking the cake, I'm just doing the usual steps. I'm just using vanilla buttercream with each of the cake layers, and then I'm just going to carve it out to make sure that it looks more like an egg shape, and then adding that crumb coat just to make sure that those crumbs don't get into the final coat. All right, for the final coat, this is a sculpted cake and it's a character cake. So you know what the final coat would be? It's ganache. It's always ganache. And I always love using ganache just because it holds up really firm whenever it dries and it cools down. It's always gonna be the best thing to use underneath modeling chocolate. So I'm just gonna add that to the cake. And then I'm just going to use an acetate sheet to smooth it out just because the shape of this cake is a little odd. While the ganache is setting, I'm just going to work on the modeling chocolate and draping that over the cake. And I'm going to have to do this in pieces just because the cake is shaped a little odd and it's kind of hard to do this with just one piece. Once I have that base layer of modeling chocolate on, I can start sculpting it. So I'm just going to start by making the egg crack first around the cake. Then I'm just going to add on those horns. I don't know what they are. It's like little things that pop out of the shell. I'm just going to add that on next before I work on anything else. So Togepi makes so many different faces in the anime and in the game, so I didn't really know which one I wanted to go with, but I know I didn't want to do just the standard one because I wanted to have fun with this and really show some expression. So I chose this like really happy, like squinty-eyed version of it, and I think it works out really great. I just use modeling tools to mark all those out. So Togepi has little arms and feet, so I just molded all of these out of modeling chocolate, and I held the arms in place by just using a little skewer just to make sure that they wouldn't fall off. Instead of trying to paint the eyes onto the cake, because I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be able to get that right, I just did it with black modeling chocolate, and it was easier this way because I was able to move it around a little bit until I was able to get it just right. Now it's time to add some color to the cake, and there's not really a lot of colors that go onto this cake. I just needed to make sure that I was able to mix the right shade of yellow to really make Togepi come to life. Now it's time to add those little markings on Togepi's shell, and I'm not really sure what they're supposed to be. I guess they're just triangles. And I looked at pictures and models of Togepi, and it looks like the pattern is always in the same place. So I tried my best to replicate that on the cake. Check it out, this is the Togepi Pokemon cake complete.
Togepi, the egg Pokemon. It exhibits a low tolerance for hunger.
So this was pretty fun to make because I love Pokemon. I love trying to make these different characters that I grew up loving, and I tried to make sure I did the best that I could with this. I think it worked out pretty good. I would say that I probably made his head come out of the shell a little bit too much. I did notice that on the model that it didn't show that much, but other than that, I love this cake. I think I got the coloring just right, as well as those markings on the shell. So I loved it. And if you liked it, make sure that you like the video. Comment below any other cakes that you want to see me make. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next video.